Good evening. Hello. I hope everyone is well. So welcome to Pyjama Pilates class this evening now, isn't it? So we're going to come down into our relaxation position today. So just get yourself settled. If you need a little head cushion behind your head, just so you've got a nice neck alignment, so you don't want the head tilted back too far or bring it too forward. So if you need a little cushion, go ahead. And as you're lying down on the mat, have your knees bent and your feet roughly about hip width apart. And I just want you to take a moment to feel the 3 body weights for the back of the head, the back of the pelvis, and the back of the rib cage. Let your spine just widen and lengthen into the floor, keeping your chest wide and a soft breastbone, just releasing any tension in the neck and in the jaw. And just breathing in here. Just letting yourself settle down into the mat nice and comfortably. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So I just want you to imagine you're making a little circle with your nose. You're just going to start to make a circle roughly about the size of a 50p piece. So just letting the head sink into the floor and just start to circle with your nose, just releasing any tension you might have, especially through the back of the cranium, the back of the neck. And then just starting to go a little bit bigger. Maybe coming to about the size of a tennis ball. Maybe a little bit bigger if that feels nice. And then start to circle back down. So coming back to this tennis ball size. And then going a little bit more back to that 50p piece. And then reversing the direction. And then coming back down. And then just settling your head back down into the mat. Taking a breath in. On your next exhale, just gently start to rotate your neck over to the left. And then breathing in, coming back to center as you gently take it over to the right. Breathing in, coming back to center. Just keep alternating the sides, keeping that chest nice and open. Finding that lovely steady breath. And then bringing yourself back to center. Just bringing the fingertips inside your hip bones. A little gentle connection, just so you can start to feel where your muscles are. And I want you to imagine you have a compass place on your lower abdomen. Your navel is north and your pubic bone is south. Now, as you take a little breath in, as you exhale, I want you to tilt that pelvis to your north. Feel that spine release into the mat. And then inhale as you pass through that starting position, and then tilt the pelvis south so you feel the spine gently lengthen. So we're sort of doing this little rocking sensation with our pelvis. So just keep breathing in, and then releasing that lower back, feeling it gently flattened into the mat. And then drawing it ever so slightly away, just so you can feel a little bit of lengthening into that lower back. Just finishing this one and settling yourself comfortably in the middle. Now thinking about east and west on your hip bones. So we're going to start to roll our pelvis gently towards east. Breathe in, coming back to center. And as you exhale, just gently rolling over to west. Again, a gentle little seesaw effect. You know your body, you know how you're feeling today. So what is feeling nice and good, whilst keeping our jaw, our neck, our face all completely relaxed. Good. And then once you've done an even amount, just bring yourself back to that center, letting that pelvis be nice and heavy. You want to start to slide your right leg away. So almost like you're kicking the heel completely away from your body. So the foot is slightly flexed, so the toes are pointing towards your nose. And then as you take another breath out, just start to slide that right leg back to your center. And then going over to the other side. So you're sliding that leg away, keeping it in line with your hip bone. And sliding it back. Just keep going. You can keep your hands on your pelvis here, and you can start to get some feedback from the pelvis. So ideally, we're trying to keep this as stable as possible. So in order to do that, we're having to switch on, having a little light bulb dimmer into our lower abdomen and our pelvic floor muscles. So it's just like a little gentle lift inside. So we're not bracing, we're not holding our breath. It's just meaning we can keep our spine nice and lengthened and our pelvis not moving. Good. Just finishing this one, making sure you're even. We're bringing your leg back to that starting position. Hands can come now down by the side of the body. Let's reach both arms up over the chest, bringing the palms to face each other, just allowing that humerus to sink into the shoulder. Let's breathe in as we reach both fingertips up towards the ceiling and exhale, letting them sink back down. So if you're just looking at your hands now, we're going to keep going, keep breathing in on the up and out as you come down. But we're just thinking about that scapula gliding up and down our backs of our rib cage. So the hands are staying roughly about your shoulder width. The head is staying nice and heavy and relaxed, the back of the rib cage. And just finishing this one, breathing in reach and exhaling lower. And then very quickly, we're going to turn our palms to face the backs of the wall. So we're getting that little rotation into our forearms. Let's just do two more. Breathing in reach, keeping your palms in this position if that feels okay. Exhaling low. Breathing in and exhaling. And then turning those palms to now face your knees. And then lower them back down. Nice and relaxed. So coming from here, we're going to go back to our leg sides, but this time, as we push the leg away, we're going to let the toes roll out to the side. So we start to get a little bit of rotation from our hips. And then we're going to drag the heel back. So as the knee closes, it's slightly open into a knee drop, and then we close. So if you're confused, we're sliding the leg away. We're letting the foot roll out, getting a lateral rotation, drawing it back in, and closing. Now, if you're hypermobile, just be really mindful of this, that you don't just completely let the knee or the hip go. So we use our tummy for a little bit of control here. We roll out, we slide back in, and we close. But one more this side. So we're pushing the heel away, toes towards your nose, letting the foot slightly roll out, using our tummy muscle to draw that knee back in, and then rotating it back. Just settling yourself before going over to the other side. So we blow the leg away, toes slightly towards nose, let the toes roll out to the left, and then slide the leg back in and back to center. So you've got another 4 of these in your own time. So letting that leg just rotate out. I'm going to go back to this leg so you can see me. So it's out, roll, draw in, close. So keeping the chest nice and wide. Just keep breathing. Finishing your last one, I think that's about 4. And then closing the knees back, keeping them about hip width apart. Let's bring those hands back over our chest. And as we exhale, we're reaching the arms overhead, framing our head with our arms. Keep the ribs connected into the mat. Then breathing in, coming back over chest, exhaling low. So breathing in and exhaling. Breathing in and exhaling. Good. One more like this. Breathing in, exhaling. Breathing in, exhaling. Good. Letting those arms rest down by the side. Just making sure your feet aren't too far away from the body because we're going to come into our spine curls. So going back to that little pelvic tuck earlier, we start to flatten and release that lower part of the back. And then even weight through the feet as we start to open up our hips, peeling our spine up and away off the mat, bone by bone. Maintain the position. And then on your next exhale, lower that spine back down. Keeping that tailbone tucked so you can feel that release of the lower spine. And then you can just let your pelvis relax back into that starting neutral. So we tuck and we peel up and away. Maintain and then lower. Bone by bone by bone. Just taking your time and release. Good, let's just keep going for 2 more of these. So we tuck and we roll. So as our hips open, our pelvis is level, and our ribs are softening themselves down. Lower, releasing all that air. Good. And last one. We're really thinking about that rib to hip connection. Breathing in, and then lowering yourself back down, bone by bone. And just reset for a moment. So we're going to peel our right heel up and come into a single knee fold. Now, if it feels okay, you're going to pull that knee in gently in towards the body, just really releasing through the hip. I just want you to start rolling your ankle gently. If you want to, you can slide the other leg away if that feels nice. Otherwise, you can keep it bent. So just roll it, rotating the ankle and then going the other way. And then you're going to bring those toes towards nose and point. Toes towards nose, point. Last one, toes towards nose, point. Release the knee and lower the foot back down. Slide the leg in if it's lengthened away. Other side, so we peel the left heel and we draw the knee in first into that single knee fold so you're controlled. And then we're going to pull that knee in gently and start to circle the ankles. So important to keep our ankles mobile, and you might find it's a bit clicky. One might be a bit stiffer than the other one. Rotating the other way and then bringing your toes towards nose and pointing. Toes towards nose, pointing. Toes towards nose, pointing, and then gently releasing the leg back down. Just get a little bit more room because I'm going to do another arm movement now. So we're going to come into our windows. So bring your arms back over chest so the fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling. Keep your fingertips pointed as you start to bend your elbows and draw them towards the floor. So we're almost doing goal pose shapes with our arms. So the wrists are still in line. We're engaging our tummy. We're keeping that chest open. And then just to drop the backs of your hands towards the floor. And then reach the fingertips away, lengthening them away. Keep your tummy engaged so the ribs stay lovely and heavy. And then you're going to reach the arms back up. So we bend the elbows into goalpost arms. We drop the backs of the hands so they're parallel to the floor. And then we reach and lengthen those arms away and then draw them back up over chest. We'll do that one more time. So we bend the elbows, goalpost arms. We drop the backs of the hands. We reach those fingertips away. We draw them back up. But this time we're going to lower those hands all the way back down. Good. We're going to come into a single knee fold with our right leg. So we've got the tummy connected, the tailbone's grounded. And I want you to blow that thigh bone away into a toe tap, just this one leg. So we breathe in and blow away. Draw it back in, blow away. Draw it back in, blow away. Draw it back in, lower, other side. Single knee fold, blow it. Same leg, draw it back in, blow it. Last one, so we're just doing 3 on each side. Once you've done 3, keep both feet, and then we're going to come into the double knee fold and then into double toe taps. So this time we're going to reverse the breathing because we're going to have to use our core strength a lot more. So make sure the legs are not too far in, so it's not flattened. We want that little pocket of air. This time we breathe in as we start to lengthen that right thigh bone away, and exhale, draw it back. Breathing in, breathing in. So keep alternating. Maintain that angle of the knee. Maintain that connection in the tummy. Try and keep that pelvis and the back of the rib cage really, really stable. We're not flaring the ribs. Good. Got one more to each side. Breathing in, breathing in. Maintain that tabletop. Just draw those knees in and let that tailbone lift away from the mat and then drop it. Lift away, drop it. Last time, lift away, drop it. Try and keep your toes connected and make very small circles with the knees. Just let that chest stay open and relaxed, going the other way. Breathing in, breathing out. And then carefully lowering your feet back down towards the mat. Good. So we're going to do a little spine curl now. So I will stress this is not a curl up. This is not where we're using the core. What we're doing is we're mobilizing the spine in upper flexion, which is really, really important. So bringing your hands behind the back of your head. And I want your elbows to stay in your peripheral vision. Just let those shoulders sit comfortably on the back of the rib cage so they're not hoist up towards the ears. That pelvis stays nice and heavy. So this time, we tuck the chin gently, so not over, just a little tuck. And then we're just going to start to flex the spine slightly forward. We breathe in, and then we lower back down. We're only going to do 4 more of these. If this isn't for you today, just lie on the mat and find your breathing comfortably. So we tuck the chin. Little curl up. We hold, and we release. So try not to pull your head up with your hands. The head is very, very heavy. So we're trying not to just let the weight completely go into the hands. So we're using our core a little bit. And just make sure that the neck is nice and free of tension. It's not about height at all. It's a little tuck of the chin and just getting that little gentle flexion to that upper spine. And then lower back down. Just doing one more if that feels okay. Otherwise, just lying yourself back down. Just letting the hands come back down by the side of the body. Just taking a little moment here. We're going to come into our starfish now. So I want you to think about sliding your right leg away, reaching your left arm up, and then taking it overhead. So the palm is facing the inside of the body now. And then we draw everything back in. And then lower, going over to the other side. So we're getting a little bit of rotation in our arm. So the arm comes up, palm facing the knee, sliding the leg away, and then we're turning that palm to face the body. We're getting this lovely stretch all the way across. Using your tummies to bring the leg and the arm back over, and then we swap over. So we're getting a little bit of coordination as well. So while we're doing this, we're moving and mobilizing our hips and our shoulders, but we're keeping our spine completely stable. Good. So after this one that you're doing, you're just going to do another set on each side, making sure you're nice and even. And once you've done your even amount, just bring yourself back to your knees being bent, your feet roughly about hip width apart. Just taking a little moment here. Let's bring the ankles, the knees, and the thighs together now. And let's open up our arms into our low V. The palms are facing the ceiling. Chest is open, shoulders away from the ears. And come into a little bit of spinal rotation. So I want you to think about gluing this top leg to this bottom leg as we come over to the right. So as we take our knees over to the right, our left hip lifts slightly, but the left shoulder stays into the mat. So we're using those deep abdominal muscles to help facilitate that movement. So just thinking about your shoulders really being nice and planted into the mat. And then taking those knees back to center, going over to the other side. So we release the air as we move. We breathe in as we come back to center. And then we exhale again. So trying to keep those legs nice and glued. And just taking it gently. It's very tempting just to let the legs completely fall over to one side. The shoulder lifts away, but we're trying to control the movement. Working in the mid-back now, our thoracic spine. Some very gentle rotation. We're just going to do one more of these on each side, making sure you're even. And then you can just bring your knees back to center. And then once you're back to center, walk your feet out. Just let everything settle back to being about hip width apart. And when you're ready, we're going to come into a double knee fold again. And you can either keep your legs like this. If it feels okay, connect your heels and just open your knees out slightly. So we're making a little bit of a V shape. And just allow your hands to reach to the outskirts of your knees. So if they need to come in a little bit more, they can. So we're going to do our single leg stretch 1 today. So you might just want to watch me quickly. So we're going to keep the left leg where it is, and I'm going to start to lengthen the right away. As that lengthens away, I'm going to bring my right hand over to the other leg and just pull it in. We're stretching the right leg away and pulling the left knee in. And then carefully come back to that start position. So the heels connect, where hands are back on the side of the knee. And then we go over to the other side. So we're lengthening the left and pulling the right in. If I add the breathing pattern, we breathe in, heels come together, and then we blow those legs away. Just going to do a couple of these. This isn't for you, just bring your feet back down and do some single and double knee folds instead. And we're pulling, we're using our tummy, we're keeping the head heavy, shoulders relaxed. Try not to claw, try and keep your fingers nice and long, so we're not sort of clawing ourselves in. And make this our last one, just making sure you're nice and even on both sides. Putting the leg away, drawing it back in, and then just release the knees into the chest. Just drop that tailbone. Take a little breath in here, breath out, breathing in, and then releasing. Placing those feet back down. Let's reset. So we're going to come into some knee drops now. So bringing your fingertips back onto your hips. They don't need to be pressed into the hip bones this time. Nice even weight into the feet to start off with. We'll take a breath in to prepare, and as we exhale, I just want you to start to open your right knee out, but keep that left hip down so we're getting no movement in the pelvis still. And then close the knee back, other side. So we're opening, we're letting that knee drop. That pelvis is staying like a spirit level. We're not having movement. We're not just letting the pelvis go and move. We're using our tummy muscles very gently, a little lift inside. It's not a sticking the abdominals out. It's more of a little lift and in. So don't want you bracing or sticking out the abdominals. Just close it back. So everything else is staying nice and heavy, relaxed. Just keep using that breath. And at any point you get lost with a breath, just breathe for a moment. Whether that's in or out as you make the movement, just keep breathing. Do one more to each side. And making that your last one. And just draw those legs back. And we can just slide both away for a moment. And just let the arms rest down by the side of the body. The palms can face the ceiling. Let's bring the legs slightly, roughly about hip width, so they're not too far away. And I want you to start to point and flex the feet, quite, not too quickly, but enough that you start to get this little sound with the body. So let the body be heavy, and just start to point and flex, so toes towards nose, pointing away, Just letting the body shake for a moment. Just let sort of everything go. Just for 3, for 2, for 1, and then just relax. And just let yourself take a moment in corpse position. Good. Lovely. Just completely letting go. And then coming back to what we were doing at the beginning and feeling the spine widen and lengthen. Maybe it's feeling a little bit different now. Feeling the 3 body weights. Keeping the feet nice and grounded. Just releasing any tension in the neck, in the jaw. And from here, just start to bring a little bit of awareness back. So just start to wiggle the fingers and just gently rock the neck from side to side. And then we're going to bend those knees again, coming into your relaxation position. Just finding that breath, just setting it down a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out. I'd like to go through an exercise for you called the 100, which is a really good exercise to connect the mind, the body, and focus on your breathing pattern. So lying in this relaxation position, I want you to start to breathe in laterally for a count of 5. Now that is by placing your hands on your rib cage and breathing in deep and wide so you can feel the sides and the ribs really expanding. So I want you to breathe in for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then exhale for a count of 5. Now with this breathing, I want you to focus on maintaining a little connection of core whilst breathing wide into the rib cage. And as you focus on that full exhalation, on closing the rib cage back in. So that's why it's nice to have your hands on the backs and the sides and just start to feel. We're not breathing into our tummy. We're not breathing into the chest. We're breathing into the deep, into the wide of our rib cage, which is what we call lateral breathing, which is really good for helping Pilates. So we're maintaining that constant and appropriate level of connection with the deep abdominals and the pelvic floor throughout. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. The neck remains free of tension. And no movement in that spine. Just really focus on the ribs closing down and drawing together, drawing that exhalation. And then the expansion during the in-breath. Just really focus on those ribs going up and down. Good. And after your last one, we're just going to bring those hands back down by the side of the body. And hopefully you can start to feel a bit more of a weight into that rib cage. We start off class usually being quite pigeon test. We hold a lot of tension. But this way of breathing really gets our rib cage to soften and relax down. And then when we come into those movements, we have that understanding of the ribs and the pelvis into the back of the mat. Let's just open our feet out now, just a little bit wider than your hips. Just let the arms settle down. We're going to come into some knee rolls now. So a bit of a combination between what we did earlier. So we're going to now take both knees over to the right. That left hip just lifts slightly. And we're just going to pause there and just feel that connection in the tummy as you keep your legs almost like magnets. Just breathe in. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring yourself back to center. You're going to pause and then go over to the other side. So letting the knees stay roughly parallel with each other, feeling that opposite hip lift, but the chest stays heavy, the rib cage still stays connected. Just going to do one more to each side. So just letting those knees take over, keeping the legs parallel. Coming back. And then going over to the other side. And coming back. Let's do an even amount. Just walk those feet back in roughly about hip width. I'm just going to finish on a nice fly. So we're going to reach those arms back over chest again. Palms facing towards each other, making sure that you're not hyperextending those elbows. Keeping that pelvis, that rib cage heavy. You're going to breathe in as you just start to open the arms out like you're about to give a hug. Just taking them nice as far as you can without disturbing that spine connection. And then close. Breathing in. Close. Breathing in. Close. Last one. Breathing in. Close. Bring your hands back over the chest. Turn them to face your knees. And then we're just going to do one final rib cage closure. So let's reach those arms all the way towards the back of the room. The ribs soft. And then circling them out to the side. Make sure you have a bit of room. So we're going to come into a bit of a T shape. And then once you've passed your shoulder height, just turning those palms to face the floor and then just letting them relax back down by the side of the body. Good. And then taking one leg and the other leg away. Now just being careful with this movement, especially if you're hypermobile, we're going to do a little banana stretch. So taking your left ankle, just gently placing it over your right. And then if it feels okay, you're going to take your arms behind and just let everything go, let everything relax if that feels okay. It might be too much for you, so you can just come back and lie in your corpse position. But if you want the side stretch, you know, let your arms relax, let the ribs go, let everything just fully do what it needs to do. And you're gently going to take hold of your left wrist and just gently pull yourself over into a little banana shape. So just really feeling the whole body stretch down that left side. Just completely let go. Like I said, but you don't have to do this if this is a bit too much. Just taking a breath in and a breath out. And carefully releasing your wrist, uncrossing your legs, and then going over to the other side. So we cross our right ankle over the left. We take hold of our right wrist and gently little over. Nothing big or strenuous. It's a little banana shape. Breathing in now to the right side of that rib cage. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And then releasing the hand, uncrossing the leg. And just carefully bringing those arms all the way back down towards the side of the body. And just let yourself lie in the most comfortable position that you want to be in. Let everything go, just releasing any tension. Just keeping that chest lovely and wide. Just letting the neck be free, the jaw release. And on the next exhale, just start to gently rock that head left and right, wiggling fingers and start to wiggle your toes. So I'm actually going to leave you lying down. So just take your time to get up when you need to get up. And just hopefully enjoying that you're feeling a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more heavy. Thank you, Annie. Thank you very much. And have a lovely rest of your evening. And hopefully I will see some of you next week. But yes, take care and bye for now.